Seahorses, now at the Tennessee Aquarium in Chattanooga.
Young mothers forced to confront the truth about who fathered their children on the next Montel.
Tonight's headlines. Bring 'em on. The Bush challenge to Iraqi guerrillas. President considers new U.S. troop commitment to Liberia. Intriguing clue revealed in anthrax investigation.
Yes.
Also tonight, the fast food industry, under attack for making Americans fat, is now fighting back. Young African Americans take a walk back in time for a life-changing lesson in history. And Eye on America. In the daily race against the clock, busy families are turning to deluxe daycare.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
And good evening. Dan is off tonight. I'm John Roberts. 2 more American troops died in Iraq today, one from wounds suffered in an attack yesterday, while another clearing mines. This day-to-day bloodletting is stirring critics to question the Bush administration's planning and policies in Iraq. But the president is having none of it. Questioned about the guerrilla-style attacks on Americans in Iraq today, he was aggressive and, according to his critics, reckless. Bring 'em on, he said. Correspondent Bill Plant reports from the White House.
In the face of growing criticism that there aren't enough troops on the ground in Iraq to hold down the rising U.S. casualty toll, the president vowed to meet the threat from Iraqi dissidents and delivered this blunt challenge.
There are some who feel like that, the conditions are such that they can attack us there. My answer is bring them on.
That kind of language brought a sharp response from Senate Democrat Frank Lautenberg, who said it amounted to inviting enemies to attack U.S. troops. The management of post-war Iraq has become a highly charged political issue, with growing concern in Congress and the nation over the continuing U.S. casualties. The U.S. is already talking to 24 additional countries about helping to keep the peace in Iraq, but so far has no takers. Today, Mr. Bush declared that the door is open.
Anybody who wants to help, we're welcome to help. But we got plenty tough force there right now to make sure the situation is secure.
But the ongoing violence remains the administration's biggest challenge. Former diplomat Tim Carney spent 3 months in post-war Iraq. He says the attacks by terrorist groups and Saddam Hussein loyalists will never end as long as Saddam remains at large.
It's a problem that we need to deal with. He must be killed or captured.
But, says Carney, the U.S. also has to be careful how it keeps the peace.
We also have to be careful in responding to provocations, that we don't overreact, that we don't spark an anger that would be self-defeating.
White House officials shrug off the criticism of their handling of post-war Iraq, saying that the nation supports the president. So why did Mr. Bush talk about it 2 days in a row? To show resolve, say officials, and to send the message that he intends to stay the course. John?
Bill Plant reporting for us live tonight from Washington. Bill, thanks. Under growing pressure from the United Nations and African allies, President Bush is considering a new deployment of U.S. troops, this time to Liberia, a West African nation racked by years of civil war. But as CBS national security correspondent David Martin reports, that would mean stretching U.S. forces to take on another bloody conflict.
Civilians fleeing Liberia's vicious civil war try to fight their way over a wall separating them from a boat about to leave the country. People are clamoring for American troops to put an end to the fighting. And President Bush, who starts a trip to Africa on Monday, sounds like he's about to intervene.
We're concerned when we see suffering. There are people who are suffering there. They got the political instability is such that people are panicking.
Exactly how many U.S. troops and for how long is still being decided. One option calls for sending about 700 soldiers under the condition they would come out in a matter of months and be replaced by UN peacekeepers. With 150,000 troops in Iraq and 10,000 in Afghanistan and no